take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really
not the safest situation to be walking that path. Wouldn't recommend it at night, wouldn't recommend it alone. Honest review of Universal Studios Orlando, or Universal Orlando's Cabana Bay Beach Resort, I think is the actual term for it. It's the Cabana Bay Beach Resort. Okay, I am super excited. I just arrived at Cabana Bay. I feel like a lot of your vloggers that do Universal content or Disney content are not being as honest and clear with their viewers as they should be. So it's going to be a very, very honest review of the pros and the cons. Everything I saw while staying at that resort, paid for it with my own money. They're not giving me anything, so there's no reason for me to be lying to you. Okay, so pro number one, I paid for the tower view at Cabana Bay. So the towers are buildings that were added onto the Cabana Bay property. Basically, you had the original structure of Cabana Bay, which is essentially all the buildings that kind of surround the pools, are low-rise buildings, and then I think in 2018 they went and they built two towers which are actually not physically connected to the other buildings, which are newer. So I ended up paying for tower view of known as the Volcano Bay view. This is the view of the room. And what was interesting was, and I say this is a pro, and that's why you need to stay up with looking at the pricing online, the Volcano Bay view was cheaper than the standard view of basically they could put you in the parking lot. So the view is very nice. You can see in my video when I first enter the room, I am very, very excited to look at the view. The view was very, very cool of Volcano Bay, but I did notice that depending on where you are on the floor, like you could have a room that's either right next to the elevator where you still have a view, or you're right next to the ice machine. That would be a nightmare. Like, it was so loud. I went to the ice machine and I was so like embarrassed at how loud it was. I'm like, oh my God, I'm waking up the entire hall. But my room, which was weird, was like direct center. I think it was the 10 line, right? It was a 10 line. The last digits was 10. I don't know if that means like, I think it was like direct center with like the volcano. Like you could see the slide and people coming down the slide. So I was not near the elevator, I was not near the ice machine. I don't know if they can guarantee that to you when you just simply say Volcano Bay view, because I guess you could be seeing it from an angle and not be as center as I was. This is a big con. I did a video on the walking path availability at a Cabana Bay. Not the safest situation to be walking that path. Wouldn't recommend it at night, wouldn't recommend it alone. I don't know if I did or didn't, that was not good. Can we keep going? And considering this is a main road, oh. The walking path that is given to guests where you would access this path in order to be able to walk to City Walk is not safe. I did a whole video on this. The walking path, unlike the paths that you would take from Aventura, Sapphire, or any of the other resorts, is not internal. So this is a walking path that is alongside the road, and unlike the Disney bubble concept, this road is completely alongside the regular road. I encountered a transient that was alongside the road. I was like terrified that he was gonna like come after me, and luckily he didn't. So the walking path is really not safe. It's not doable, and I would definitely advise you to go on the bus if you're staying at this resort. Another pro. The hotel, and I'm not sure if it's at all of them, but this one offered a phone service text message where you could communicate with them. That was very helpful when my room was ready. They texted me like, oh, do you know, I know you didn't want an adjoining door, but you know, we have a room available now. Do you want it? It was very helpful. I enjoyed like how they stayed in touch with the phone service text messaging. That was nice. Con. There is absolutely no accessibility across the street to Aventura Hotel or Sapphire. So it actually looks visually very odd. When you're looking at the entrance of Cabana, you cannot, normally places like this, anywhere else you think in your head, would have a crosswalk that you can hit a button, walk across the street. They never put in a crosswalk. And then on the other side where Aventura is, there's actually a sign up that says do not run across the street. So they really went out of their way to try to make sure that guests at Cabana are not going over to Aventura and Sapphire, with the main reason being that they don't want you to utilize their water taxi service. And I've been hearing mixed information. Number one, some people were saying that they were getting carded and that they want to see what hotel you're staying at to see if they'll let you get on the water taxi or not. But I was seeing people dodging across the street both ways. In other words, guests at Aventura Sapphire were displeased at the food court offerings there, so they were running across to Cabana, which actually has a really good food court. So there's no accessibility to get across. You would have to like go, you would have to go on the bridge, the walking path, and then maybe cut through Sapphire would be the quickest way. And then, yeah, something like that in order to get into Aventura. They really don't want you going over to the other properties, which is very odd to kind of segregate guests in that way. Which brings me back to the pro. Cabana has a very good food court. This is the food court here at Cabana Bay. And then if you turn this way, apparently there's more food court. I don't even know where I am. We're in breakfast. I didn't even realize that. Oh my God, we're still in breakfast. Cool. It's a very big food court. It's got a lot of food court food offerings here. So that was a huge thumbs up for me. A lot of people don't care about that. Some people are like, I want it to be more elegant, a hotel, and I want it to be where the hotel has only sit-down restaurants, which is how it is at Sapphire. They do have a small food area at Sapphire, but the food was like as far as a grab and go, but it was awful. Like Starbucks looks like Ritz-Carlton level next to what they had. It was very bad. And then the Aventura Hotel food offerings look pretty bad as well. It's like, I don't want like a vegan, weird, bunny food when I'm staying at a theme park. Like that's what it looked like they had. It was not good. So you had a lot of people that were at those hotels that were actually running across the street to Cabana. So the food court was a big pro, thumbs up with Cabana Bay. Again, you have some pretty severe cons with the hotel. The hotel environment didn't seem that safe. I noticed in the parking lot, I wonder if I have footage of this, there are blue emergency service buttons, like those big blue things that you'll see in garages, all over the place at Cabana. All throughout the parking lot, there's dozens of these blue things, like when you call for help. Really weird, kind of unsettling. And it probably has to do with the fact that the street is alongside this resort. I saw what I believe was a transient or a hobo that was kind of in front of the tower area, which is a little bit separate than the other rooms. And he kind of circled around and went back and forth there. And then I saw this person go into the garage actually at Cabana. So you can give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was a guest that was lost, but this person had a backpack. It was kind of like one of those extended backpacks that unfortunately the transients use. And I got this unsettling feeling that he didn't belong on the property. So there was possibly a transient on the property at Cabana, which is unsettling. And then, of course, like I mentioned, when I was on the walking path, there was a transient. The staff was, that I encountered, I accidentally went into I parked in an area that was very close to the maintenance area of the hotel, and then I ended up moving my car, but you were allowed to park there. But this area was like a prime view of like all the workers of the hotel, and the staff was like not yielding. They almost ran me over a few times, and some of them were kind of sketchy. I don't know if they were like doing like carpooling or waiting for other employees. It kind of looked that way, but like a few of them had like their windows open, and they were just like glaring at me out the window. It was kind of like some Miami level stuff. It was not settling at all. Pro, there are multiple pools. Giant multiple pools, and 2 giant bars with food and drinks associated with the pools. There's actually technically 3, actually. One pool that's off the lobby has like a big bar area, and then there's a separate food area. Did you know that? There's a separate food area off to the side next to it. And then the other pool bar, I think it's called it was like in an under thing. I think that's what it was actually called, like the underhang. Very nice, very packed with a lot of people. So the amenities seemed like so much so at this resort that you couldn't keep up with it. And I really liked at this resort how everything was open and connected. So in other words, unlike, for example, a resort at Disney, if you're familiar, like Key West, where everything's separate, like a little gift shop separate, you have to go outside and walk to a restaurant. Everything here was connected. So like the 2 giant pool areas, the lobby, the food court, the gift shop, the Starbucks area, everything is very open and everything is connected, which felt very, very nice. Back to the cons. It has a lot to do with the maintenance of the hotel. The doors at this hotel, like when you were going in from like the pool area and the seating area to back into where the food court was, some of them were so heavy that they didn't open. Like everyone, it wasn't just me, like everyone kind of said to each other like, oh, that's the door that doesn't open. or that's the door that like you need to be the Hulk to open it. And you kind of like made a mental note, like there's only one door that I essentially can open to get back in. So really, really, like the doors were obviously having maintenance issues. It shouldn't be that hard to open a door. Soda machines, where you use the refillable mug. Okay, this is from another video, but the refillable mug. There were like 4 stations. So you have the food court, which is like a giant rectangle, and you have soda station, soda station, soda station, soda station, and only one soda station was working. And when I first got a refillable mug, it didn't even work, and I had to bring it back, and she had to like go like this or whatever with it to get it to work. But there's literally one soda machine that works, and then another one, like you kept going up to it and like you tried to get soda out of it, and it was like, come back in 30 seconds, and it was like you came back in 30 seconds, it didn't work. And then you had to like put your finger next to the sensor, and you had to like balance it just right to communicate with it. So the soda machines were a pain in the butt. It didn't work. The other thing was I found that they were putting away things. That was another thing. They were putting away like the hot coffee and different things very early in the evening as a way to kind of like get you out of the food court. They didn't want you getting, even though the food court was open, it's like I want to get hot coffee and you guys have already taken everything and put everything away. It's not cool. The bathrooms in the lobby and the Starbucks area, and then there was another one I didn't try, which was like right off like where you check in. Their bathrooms are in bad shape. As soon as I went into them, I was really disappointed. I was like, you wouldn't think they would complain about it, but like paying money to be at a hotel and you walk into bathrooms that are almost at a level of like what you find like on the highway, you know, coming in at rest stops, and you're like, oh, these bathrooms need a refurb here. This is not cute. There was confusing info checking into the hotel regarding when you want to use your resort charge, Cabana Bay room card. So when you use the room card and you want to set it up for room charges, they have to actually activate that for you. That's fine, but like when the girl told me that information, it was implied I wanted to do that. And it differs a little because it's not just like, oh, do you want room charging capability like Disney does? They want to know an amount. So in other words, you tell them, oh, well, pre-charge, authorized $200. That means that you can make up to $200 amount on the room charges, but it was just a lot of confusing information. And then I thought she activated it, so then I went to use it. It wasn't working, so it was like definitely some confusion on the way they communicate with guests there regarding that. Smoking in non-smoking areas. Interestingly enough, okay, I grew up watching all those movies, Bring It On, and the Bring It On cheer movie, and there was actually one that was filmed there, and I didn't know that was a thing. That's apparently a thing, and I actually stayed at this resort during cheer. I didn't know. It was super fun though. For the most part, they were a nice crowd. It gave the hotel energy, I thought. Eventually, they kind of went nuts. Like there was one girl that was on like a luggage cart, and she went flying down the main area, and she slammed into the wall. Some of the people that were like doing this, I think what you had was like parents and like chaperones and stuff like that. I think they were all like doubling up in rooms, which made it very cheap. And you know, like they were smoking in like non-smoking areas, like on tables you should have been able to eat at outside, and just not enough security enforcement where they were tending to the cheer guests. And then what was funny was I checked out of the resort on the 6th, on December 6th. And that night, confusing when I look it up, it was either that night or the next day. Apparently I read there was an incident at the hotel where a cheer guest got into an altercation with a security guard, which I'm really glad I wasn't there because just the sight of that would have really annoyed me and kind of ruined my trip. But ironic how close it was to me being there. Water break. I feel another burp coming on. But yeah, some of the guests, I always felt that. I think it's become a problem at Disney too. Rowdy. They needed more visible security presence. Should I include that? That was a bad burp. So yeah, that was the list of stuff I had, and obviously reasonable price. The hotel is a reasonable price, which is a pro. You know, it's like you can get it anywhere. This hotel probably for like $113 to I think the highest would probably be like 200 something in the low 200s, but you can get some deals staying at this hotel. And again, check when you go online, because often the volcano room is better than the standard room, which is bizarre. Even when I go on today, like I'll see like the standard room's more. And I read reviews online where it was talking about cleanliness and things like that. Again, the Volcano Bay room is probably less of a problem when it comes to that. I saw also things online that the air wasn't working in some of the older buildings because it's like a click-on sensor due to eco stuff. So I didn't have those problems in the Volcano Bay room. That could be because there's no suites there, and some of the people who want to bulk up with other people, and the suites is all in the other buildings as far as I know. So that's why it's better to stay in the towers. Yeah, a lot of these things may hold more weight than others. The cons for me that hold weight regards the security and safety issue. I don't like knowing the walking path is not safe. I don't like knowing that there was a transient on the property, I'm pretty sure. You know, the staff not yielding to pedestrians with cars. Yeah, the cons for me regard security. I want to feel safe when I'm at a resort, and unfortunately at this hotel, there doesn't seem to be that feeling, what's called a Disney bubble. At Disney, it's a much more internal property. It would take a huge amount of effort for someone who's not meant to be there to get in there. You know, you're driving down the road. It's such a distance from the time you enter the gate to a property. You would be walking along their internal roads, and at Universal, a lot of those roads are external. In other words, it's city property, which is something I'm not used to. It doesn't have that feeling of the Disney bubble. So the cons at this hotel regard the concept of security. The pros involve, for me personally, a food court is important. I don't want to have to only deal with sit-down restaurants. And the price. The price is very reasonable, I think, for especially if you're going to be doing a lot of trips or vlogging or going up there a lot, or you just go up there a lot because you live in Miami or something and you have an annual pass. So there are pros and there are cons, and you have to figure out what works for you. For me, if I was staying there again, I would not probably do the walking path again because I didn't feel it was safe. I would just suck it up and do the bus, and it's not that long on the bus, which takes care of part of the security issue, but I would still need to be aware of my surroundings. You should be aware of your surroundings anyhow, but extra aware. It's not the Disney bubble. You need to be aware not to get hit by a car or by a staff member. Keep an eye out if anyone ended up on the property that wasn't supposed to be there. But you know, those pros are the reasonable price and the food court. And I can't tell you like an overall verdict, like I would go there again or not. It depends on the price compared to the other resorts. Ironically, I really wouldn't stay at Aventura. They have a really bad food court, and a lot of guests there were really creepy. Which is a whole other video. I'm still burping. Before making this video. Salad, it's good for you. It helps you poop. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this pro-con video. I'm going to try to insert as much photos and videos as I can with this video. Yeah, it goes back to that concept. I'm always going to be honest with you guys. I told you pros, I told you cons. If you're watching a vlogger, some of these big ones that you watch, they go to a hotel and they tell you anything like 99% to 100% the hotel was a great experience. Assume they are not telling you the truth, okay? Because that doesn't make sense. Any situation is going to have a pro and a con. I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm trying to be honest with you so you don't like get played. And you know, hear a video, everything's perfect, show up there and be like, this is not nice, you know? I want you to have factual information. So, you know, take what they say with a grain of salt, and I'm always going to be honest with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video, and bye! You're done. I'm not going to burp anymore. You don't need to keep filming me. I mean, I probably will burp more, but I don't know when it's going to come. When it comes, it comes. Okay. Enough! Enough! Okay.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem damn bad. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed in heaven, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that.